And we've got Michael Fualalo. Fualalo, is that how you say it?
That's it, my man.
In the house.
Yes.
And you sent me a few videos of him, and it was on the one with Josh Mansour when Hamali was talking about how good he was, and then obviously we had Emre here.
Aden as well.
Aden, everyone actually, yeah. We had Emre here, Aden
Big
here.
raps.
Big raps, man.
Yeah. No, I've been very fortunate.
Big raps.
Yeah.
And obviously, like I watched a lot of your work on Instagram. Just the amount of detail and effort you put in. Off camera, we're just talking about your early days and how you got into it. Can you tell us a bit about yourself, Michael, and how you got into, strength and conditioning and coaching kids and helping them with their speed work, and especially getting them ready for, weekend rugby league or top NRL players like you've been helping?
Yeah, we'll do. Before getting into it, do you mind if I do a prayer before we start?
Yeah, that's another thing I was going to say. I was reading your thing.
Go for it. About heads. Lord and Father, first and foremost, all glory and praise goes to you. Thank you for this opportunity that Jake and Metz gave me to speak on their platform. Please protect our family and all those that are listening through this platform as well. Holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate that. Yeah, so how I got into it, pretty much like I explained to you, came through the back doorway, got my certs, what I needed to. Started with like group fitness, hit training, 45s, whatnot. But always had a passion, speed, move fast. My dad always installed that with me growing up. It wasn't like a qualified trainer, just like those typical poly dads, stand on side, I do this. Yeah. But it worked out in the end, and I just wanted to install it. So reached out to my mentor, Roger Fabri. Shout out to you, my man. Taught me the ropes pretty much. I'm very grateful for that man. Also, just, I didn't want to really go down the S&C route as much when I started. I just wanted to go field-based because at the end of the day, the game's getting faster. All sports need speed. And where I was located, or where I am located now, there was no one there. So I wanted to be that person. And God bless, I did the hard yards, did the groundwork, and I'm pretty much that person out west, without sounding cocky in a way, but I worked for this, and, I'm going to accept that achievement. So, yeah.
All right, cool.
That's unreal, mate. That's unreal. Now, you mentioned your dad. Can you give us some more backstory? Like, where are you from? Where's your family from? All that sort of stuff.
So, I'm half Tongan, half Portuguese. So, my dad's...
Portuguese?
Yeah, my dad's born in Tonga, Nokolofa. Mum born in Madeira, Portugal. And with my dad, he was always supportive in that way. So was my mum. She was always supportive, but my dad did all the training for us. Multiple backgrounds, did athletics, taekwondo. And then I grew up playing soccer.
Wow.
Yeah, so I grew up in Marrickville, played for the Red Devils when I was younger, and being a bigger kid, I had to try to keep up with the small, fast wogs, as we like to say. I'm allowed to say I'm half. So yeah,
Portugal's pretty big, mate. In
so
soccer.
I had to keep up somehow. So my dad really got me training real early, which I loved, And coming through Aldo, trained my brother, trained a couple of the boys as well. All went pretty well in their careers as well. Some debuted, some good names as well. And I just want to follow that legacy. And my dad, like I've seen in multiple podcasts and radio stations, he's known as Uncle Charlie down at Cabramatta. He's doing good things down there. I'm trying to rebuild Cabramatta leagues.
Yep.
It fell away a bit, but now they're trying to rebuild. They're in a rebuild phase kind of thing. So he's doing great things, and everyone knows him by that. So whoever's listening, if you see Uncle Charlie, just knock him on the head, eh? Yeah.
I noticed you were talking about Uncle Charlie on your social media platforms, but when you're working on speed work, you've come from F45, you're getting mentored by Roger Fabri. What were some of the early challenges that you had to go through? Like, how do you get your first group of players? Obviously, your group fitness background would have helped being able to connect with people and understand people and know exactly what they need. What were some of the challenges that you faced in those early days?
Well, to be honest, when I first started, I was kind of an introvert. I was pretty standoffish, but I'm not that way. If you get to know me, I'm not that person. Now I'm a lot better than what I was. Everything was pretty much generic based for myself. I never worked in the gym where clients would just come and go. Oh yeah, Michael, we got this client for you, bang. It was more I had to learn fast, had to adapt. And when I got into the industry, that's when COVID hit. So everything was kind of outdoor. And then that's how I kind of learned to adapt real fast, because things would happen. I couldn't control the weather, for example, if I was doing outdoor sessions. And then once I got into the speed side of things, it was pretty much like sink or swim. That was my mentality going forward. Like, learned from Roger, obviously. He gave me the blueprint, but I just put my flavour on it. And I just had to learn quick. And I think the best thing for me at the time was I had a person reach out for his group. It was all the girls rugby league program. And he goes, "Oh, Michael, this is what we want, speed guy." Blah, blah. I was like, "All right, look, just to let you know, I'm just starting off with a big group of your numbers that you got, all girls as well, or I think it's from 12 to 15 age group." I was like, "Look, I don't have experience in this, but give me a go. I want full reign. Like, I don't want your coaches or this and that to come or get involved. Like, I'll do everything from warm up to warm down." His reply was like, obviously, like he's gonna go, "Oh, why? Like, why don't you want my coach?" I go, "Because at the end of the day, if something goes wrong, I want full blame. Like, I don't want any finger pointing. Oh, this guy. Like, I want the girls go well, I want the credit. If they go bad, then it's on me, and I'm willing to cop that." And he gave me a shot, and to be honest, I felt like the first couple of weeks, man, the girls were off me. I was just wrong. Like, I just had the wrong mentality going in. So I had to adapt, apologise to the group. I was transparent with the parents as well. And from then onwards, I just grew, just kept growing, kept adapting. And I'll put it down to that. Like, that group there kind of pretty much was the stepping stone for me to like realise, all right, I can't just be one way. I've got to always adapt and, go in with an open mindset in a way.
You're speaking about mindset there. Give us a rundown on how you went in, and then, as you said, it took you 2-3 weeks to understand that you were doing it wrong.
Yeah.
What did you do then change, and then how has that benefited you as you've gone along?
So my mindset going in, to be honest, like I was scared.
Yeah,
like
okay.
I was scared of that failure. Like I was like, all right, I have to play it safe. I have to do it this way, do it that way.
Yeah.
Conservative, pretty much. But I think the girls, they kind of picked up on that, and they were just off me. Like after the first session, I think it was just fresh. They were like, "Oh, cool." But heading into 3-4, it was just like, nah. They were off me straight off the bat. I sensed it. Yeah. And things were just going wrong. I was losing their attention spans went there, and then I was like kind of growling them for no reason. And it was just due to me. Like I just sat down, reviewed, and I was like, all right, it's not them, it's me. The way I changed it was I just went in there more, not like a happy approach, just more of like an understanding. Because a lot of them, go on school training, come in here, okay, oh, how's your day? Bang, and getting to know them as the person before the athlete. You know what I mean? And just as to adapt through that, a lot of girls start to open up a bit, and I was like, all right, I got their respect. And then I can start asking for that bit extra of effort if I needed to. Yeah, Michael, I got you. It's like, all right, cool, all right. And then that's how I kind of combat that issue. Was my mindset was closed. I had to be this way, that way. I was safe, conservative. But once I accepted, all right, man, if we're gonna fail, let's just fail fast, move on. We learn from this. It's not a loss. And once I accepted that, I just kept moving on. And I think to I am today, it's helped me a long way. That first fail, pretty much, or lesson, as you like to say. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Matt.
Yeah, go. No.
That's great self-awareness, because what you said there when I was listening was you built connection. Now, young people want to come and learn.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't want to be told what to do, because that's what they're there for, is for you to teach them. So that's great self-awareness, mate. That's really good.
Yeah.
So, you talk about, what age did you play soccer until, and then when did you make the transition? When did you know you were too big for these kids?
Nah, so I played, so I started real young. I think it was like under 5s, I think. And then went to under 16s, 15s. So played soccer out here, obviously. Then we moved out to out southwest, Hoxton Park. Played soccer through there. Back then it was called Super Youth. Now it's called NPL 1. And so it's pretty high level soccer. And then my transition was, I was trialling out for a state team, and I just knew, I was like, man, I've got this spot. And then, the words would have been around like politics. Politics got involved, and I didn't make that side, and I got cut. I was like, man, and that was probably one of the moments, or few moments, I knew I was confident in something. I was like, I got this. Just got beaten due to politics. Man, I was just playing, because I was always fast growing through. Just in high school, all the boys were playing rugby league. I was like, oh, Michael, we need a winger. I was like, bro, I don't know how to play league. They go, no, just catch the ball, run. I was like, sweet, easy. And then, so I'm like probably 80 kilos back then, or probably even lighter, to be honest. Seen Samoans, Tongans, big Islander boys. I'm like, bro, I don't want to get tackled. I'm running away. Bang, use the speed, see you later, gone. And then just for my high school, Hoxton Park High School, it was secondary school competition. So schools with no sports program. We made the finals for that. It was out in Campbelltown Stadium. Had a good game there, and then that was it. The recruiters from West Magpies go, oh look, we want to sign you up, and that's how I transitioned. So pretty much how I learned football was in Hal Mats. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was the transition from there.
Do you think the agility of soccer and the speed work they do there put you in good stead to move into the field that you're moving into now, which is speed work with
great.
a lot of
Obviously a bit of just technical stuff with like the arms and whatnot, mechanic stuff. But putting that aside, like great, because you got to be light on your feet. The acceleration you got to go like, and sometimes you got to play ahead. With soccer, like you can pass the ball, but then you got to move to the next spot. Like your awareness has to be there, and that helped me the first 1-2 years, to be honest. Going into that transitional league, because I was a lot faster. My awareness was real good. Mostly just the technical sides of tackling, catching a high ball and whatnot. I had to pick up real fast, but just that aspect of it with soccer transition, it was great. It was very good. Like my footwork agility was great. In the Hal Mats, I just felt like, not sounding cocky, but I was like, oh, this is pretty easy. To be honest, I was like, oh, is this what you got? And then found protein and then bang. Put on the side. Yeah, no goods after that.
Was there a lot of sweet potato and taro?
Oh, no, it was more like the
Portuguese
Portuguese chicken and that.
Yeah, the Portuguese chicken. Because Marrickville out there, it's known, well, not Marrickville, but what's the area where it's known for Portuguese chicken?
Dalchu.
That's right, that's it, yeah. It's massive.
Nah, huge down there. Yeah. Big Portuguese community down there, Dalchu.
Yeah. Well, you must be one of the biggest ones.
Oh, no, I was. Jokes.
And so, what were your teenage years like? What was it like growing up in Marrickville? Because I know Marrickville can be pretty rough. And how old are you now?
Nah, I'm 36 this year, but I pretty much my teenage years was out west.
Out west?
Yeah, Liverpool.
Okay.
So I think we moved from there when I was 8 or 9.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, I was pretty young, but most of my teens was out west.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't really remember too much growing up in Marrickville ways. It was just like more, playing sport, school, all that stuff. All the other stuff, it's kind of like a mist to me in a way.
So now your academy's out west.
Yeah, my academy's out west, yeah.
You've got a lot of players. I mean, it's a huge catchment area too for a lot of young players, right?
Yeah, so from Campbelltown, Liverpool, even to the Penrith areas, going out always towards Blacktown and that. Very, very good athletes, young kids coming through, next gens, like amazing pool of athletes coming through out there. And like I was telling Jake before off camera, it's like I'm very fortunate in a way, like I kind of got in at the right time when I did. And I must be doing something right because I'm still around in that way. And hopefully still.
One of the things I was saying last week, I forgot to tell Jake a post. Well, I went to his game when he was playing for Renown, and I said to my mate, I go, he's going to make it.
Yeah.
He goes, don't you remember? I goes, why didn't you talk to him before you interviewed Jake? This is what I want to ask you. When you got these young players coming through, can you pick which ones are going to make it through?
Yes, I feel like now I'm pretty good with pointing out that. Just due to their work ethic. A lot of kids, they say they want it, but they're not about it. But
you can see some, like you go, that kid's talented, but he's just not there.
But exactly right. Like some kids are very talented, but they're not coachable. You know what I mean? Like where going into the system, you can be the most talented guy, but sometimes not make it because you get beaten by a guy that's coachable. You know what I mean? Like, and that goes to my academy. Like a lot of kids, great talent, great athletic ability, but it's just that work ethic. And I feel like now I'm more tapped into a mentoring role with those young kids, and like, because now it's different age than what we were going through. Like social's big now. Everyone's on their device, so now it's kind of me mentoring, saying, "Hey, what do you want to do?" And it's alright. Like some kids are like, "Oh, just doing it for this." I'm like, "Well, that's alright. Like at the end of the day, you gotta be happy in your own self. Like there's no point doing something you don't love because you'll never make it in that sense. You're just beating an old drum at the end of the day." But just going back to your questions, I can see it to a point, but there's still a lot of young kids that they got a lot of years before they get to that point. But some of the kids I did see was like Gordon Chan, Trey Mooney, Caleb Navale. Those three are the guys that kind of started when I started off. Maybe first grade. All that man. Well, now, So, very good. I'll Trey's at Canberra, obviously. But I seen them when I was young. Just that little circle of boys that came through when I started, I just saw it. They were just a different breed. They were all about it. I was like, wow, that's mad. So it was cool to see.
Guys, if you like what you're seeing, the next step for you guys is the challenges. With the challenges, you get absolutely everything. we've learned everything that we do on our podcast and all the guests that we bring on through what we do, and we incorporate all these in our challenges, which helps everyone go to the next level. So we work on the nutrition, the training, and the mindset, because it's exactly what we do to deliver the best people on our podcast, but more importantly, to help every single person that walks through our Elevate doors or our Titan Fitness stores. So hit the link in the bio and see exactly what we do, not just on this podcast, but absolutely in everything that we do to make people's lives better.
What's the most asked question you get? Like when they, the young people, the teenagers, the NRL players, all those sorts of guys. I wonder, always, like people that run these sorts of businesses, and I ask Mets questions all the time about certain things, because there's obviously a lot of people here at Titan Fitness. What questions do you get asked that you like feel that is most common?
Most common is like, oh, how fast can I get in a short amount of time?
How do you answer that?
And I'll go, look, to be honest, I'm not a magician. There's no, if you got, to be honest, if there's a coach out there, and this is, I'm not trying to bag anyone in any sense, saying that I can get you fast in 3 weeks, like, man.
Doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work like that. But some parents they just want their kids to be faster. And, and like, it's a sad thing too in a way. Like, I did mention I train kids 8 to 10 years old, but a lot of parents now, they're investing in their kids that young, where kids are not kids no more. Like, they don't have that joy with just to go training and then just chill, which I don't know why that happened or not. Maybe they just want to give their kids the best opportunity, which I totally respect. But that's the most common question I get is, all right, my son is this. I want to get this fast by this time. And it's usually around the athletics season time of school athletics carnival. Oh, he's got regional in 3 weeks. Can you get him fast? I go, nah, like, save your money, save your time. Like, I'm not even going to bother. They're like, oh, why not? Aren't you a speed coach? I go, yeah, but what you're asking me to do is pretty much impossible. Like, yeah, I may change his mechanics in some sort of way, or her mechanics some sort of way, but to get what you want, man, that's false hopes, and I'm not going to do that, because at the end of the day, who you going to look at? You're going to look at your kid or me?
And with that, what's the quickest thing the people you train get? Like, is it footwork? Is it hips? Is it like, what do they pick up really quickly?
For me personally, I go to foundation, like basic drills. And it's just the mechanics. Everyone's different, obviously. It could be a strength issue. They could be really strong, but just the mechanics is real bad. So the thing I try to combat first is obviously go through the assessment, see where they're lacking. Could be injury, old injury. But sometimes too, it could be just overload. Like some of the kids that come to me is like playing league and union. So when they come to me, it's like they're already beaten up. I'm like, they could be great athletes, like sound, technical wise, but it's just fatigue. I'm like, I'll talk to the parents, I'm like, man, like, what you're trying to ask from me, it's going to be very hard. Like, you've got to give it time or just drop on sport. And they're like, oh, but why? I'm like, well, you got your kid doing union training, league training, playing Saturday, Sunday, and then you're coming on their day off day to get speed. When, obviously, I just said they're technically sound, but they're just fatigued. Like, something's going to go wrong at the end of the day.
Do you have these honest conversations all the time with some parents?
Yeah, I try to be transparent as possible. To be honest, I like to treat people how I want to be treated. Like, don't beat around the bush. Like, just tell them straight, and that's it. Because I feel like it's honest too. Like, there's sometimes there, like a lot of parents where the kids are mucking up, and I'll just tell the kids off straight away. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, see your parent over there? Like, just chill. Like, they're there watching you. What's the best repayment you can give to your parent? Or like, train hard. Well, it's that simple. Like, or just don't be here. And then I'll go to the parent. I'll go, look, this is happening at the moment. It's up to you what you want to do, but I thought I'll let you know firsthand, because at the end of the day, like, I'm real big on that. Like, me growing up too, like training a lot, I've seen my mum in the car, like tired, my dad tired. Like, just to give us the best opportunity. So the best thing I could do is just bust my ass. You know what I mean? This is what I try to install to kids, and that's why I'm so honest with the parents. Is like, I'd rather them be at home, spend time with their kids or whatnot, and save their money than come and give me money, even though business-wise it's the best thing for me. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's not the right thing. Because always comes back to, it's the coach. And from my business sense, it's not really on socials as much. Like, I know I post and whatnot, but everything's word of mouth. Like, result driven for me, and that's how I like to be. So anything like that gets around, bad words, I hear it, and it's just like, damn, man, like, I'm mucking up here, what can I do? Which I'm very thankful haven't come across that yet. So I'm doing something right, and I'm going to stick to my lane, because there's less traffic in that way. So yeah,
it's good that you talk about being honest and transparent with the parents. you know, when you look at these young kids and like you talked about overtraining, which gets quite overlooked even at the top level, and you see banged up players getting out there and probably not performing at their best. You know, when I look at rugby league and you look at sports like, you know, the NBA or the NFL, they've got all their own coaches as well as the team coaches, where it's almost tailored and more personalised for the individual. With rugby league, obviously they don't have the funds to be able to do that. They've still got, you know, strength and conditioning, but it's not like every club has a sprint coach, and you know, hence why they will come to you and Roger Fabri. When you look at rugby league itself, do you think that some players are overloaded too much for what they can put out compared to some other players?
Yes and no. Overtraining, I know it's a big word, like overtraining, but then you look at the other side of the aspect is like, all right, yes, you can train so much to a point, but what are you doing away from training? Like, are you sleeping right? Is your diet
100%,
right?
I agree with
You know
that.
what I mean? Like, that's overtraining as well. Like, that's where I look at it, especially with the kids.
So let me reframe it. So, say you're training 4 hours a week.
Yep.
You should focus on 4 hours of recovery a week as well.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like one for one almost.
Yeah, I like that interpretation of it, and I feel like that's the best thing because with speed too, it's like it's very hard to get, it's very hard to keep. Like, and what I do, it's very pretty much hard in my mouth sometimes. Like, especially say for example, I'm dealing with like high profile players, you know, with a lot of money. When I'm telling them to go, like my heart's in my mouth sometimes because I'm like, anything can happen. Because the way I like to approach it is like whoever comes to me, I try to give them back a lot faster than what they were. Now, going to your question with the overtraining, it's what they do away from that.
That's right.
You know, and it's that misconception like, oh, am I going to get a good Broncos time? Am I going to get this? I'm like, guys, like if you get a good speed program in, like you'll be surprised how good your fitness will be by then. So answering your question with the overtraining, it's a yes and no. Like some players can handle it. They're very good at handling it. But some, I feel like it's a genetic thing too in a way. Like their bodies will just break down in that
100%,
sense.
and like you know, I've been training people for many years, and everyone's recovery point is going to be different, and that's going to constitute, and that's going to come from their recovery, their stress levels, all those kinds of things, because eventually hormones start to affect it, whether you're a male or a female. Your cortisol levels can, and it's not bad to have cortisol, but your cortisol levels can go up due to undue stress. That may be, you know, not doing your recovery sessions, which could be, you know, cold therapy, hot therapy, mobility work, stretching, all that kind of stuff. You know, when we were talking to Jacob Avis last week, and we were talking about, you know, hydrolyte, and he was telling us, he goes, have you seen the ingredients in there? He goes, it's not really a hydration, you know, capsule or a drink. Yeah. It's got so many things in there that his body can't have anymore. So he went and got the necessary tests done with a naturopath to find out exactly what's going to work for his body. So it becomes individualised, and like now we're seeing a lot of people with IBS, different autoimmune issues, which have an effect on the recovery from one individual to another. A lot of these things stem from the upbringing of the kids as well, and depending on what they're in those households. But one thing I was like, I'm not going to say, I've been in a lot of dressing sheds.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've seen after the game what they feed the players. And you know, you don't want to say anything bad about the dietitians and the nutritionists and that work from, but most of them are dietitians. But you can see what they give the players for free, which has, you know, a plethora of, you know, different ingredients as they're not whole foods. And these players have it. And the players have it because they're getting it for free. Yeah. And a lot of the times the players get used to getting that for free, and so they're going to continue to have those types of foods. Obviously, it doesn't affect every player, like you said, and I think genetics plays a huge role. You know, when you look at the sport itself, and we were just talking about it just then, do you feel like you retraining the minds of these individuals is something that's hard for you to do because you've got a certain job, but then they're dictated by what the others in the clubs do, or, you know, their local sides, or their parents?
Yeah, well, with the older members, athletes, like semi-pros, pros, I wouldn't even tap into it, to be honest. Just due to what you just said then, like they're just used to, it's there, it's given, we're going to have it. To be honest, like it'll take a exceptional athlete to realise like, nah, I'm not going to have that, I'm going to do my own thing. Like we can go to like LeBron James, like all those NBA players, they will get stuff given to him, but you see him doing his own thing. That's why he's lasted so long in the league.
He spends like $1 or $2 million a year on his body,
yeah, exactly.
right?
So, and like, you know, you're not expected players to do that, but
of course.
if some players want to go that extra step, like, you know, if you got the funds or the resources to do it, like, why not? Why not do it? Or like, why not give it a chance to do it? You know, from what you're saying. With the youngers, I try to lead them the right way. You know, like you see them come to training, monster cans, mothers, like all that stuff. I'm like, guys, you can't be doing that. Like, you know, that's why I try my best to reach out somewhere, like to some companies, just to give these guys a better outlook. I'm like, hey, there's better ways to put things into your body instead of like nutrition, like your liquids, what you're drinking before training, after training too, where some of them like may scull a Coke can or something, you know, or like scull down like a big Powerade. I'm like, all right, guys, like maybe choose a different thing. You know, like I don't give advice because I'm not like qualified nutritionist in any way, but I'm just like, guys, there's better options out there. Like, why don't you suss that out? You know, like a lot of the kids come through from the station straight to my training. You know, so sometimes I see them and they try to hide it like the Manouche box or something like that. I'm like, guys, what are you doing? Like, have something else. There's always better options out there. So with the older ones, not so much. I try to talk to them that stuff. It's the young crew, next gen coming through. I try my best to talk to them in that sense, or try to give them a better options in a way.
Well, we are in the age of information, you know, like you're in, I think, you know, all the teachings that you do and the people that come to you, you'd have a right to be able to say those sorts of things. So yeah, keep that sort of stuff up, mate, because the more information you can give the young people at this age, the better they're going to be as it goes on, and consistency is key with that. I want to ask you about your business. When did you finally go, you know what, I'm going to do this?
So I was doing 2 jobs before I started. Working 7 days a week, why not? And to be honest, it was more the fact of I wanted to do something I like, but also spend more time with my girls. Obviously, my oldest was young at the time, and then there was another one on the way. It was a big risk, to be honest, but grateful for my wife. Like, she stood by me, rock solid. Credit to her, man. Like, she's done a real good job while I was trying to do what I'm doing now, while she's taught my girls. Like, pretty much I look at it in this sense, like, when I was there, I used to go into work, go, oh, how are you? Then the old guys, they were long service, 10 years or whatnot, or, you know, that same shit, different day kind of thing. And then I could just see the misery in their face. I'm like, nah. And what I was doing wasn't bad. Like, I was looking at the Coles DC site, you know, like, it was good money for what we were doing, just driving a forklift for permanent as well. And I was like, nah, this is not me, man. Like, I don't want to be like this, miserable, go home, and then probably take that home. Like, what's the point of that? And so once I dove straight in, got into the industry, and then really what took it full time was like once I started getting into the athlete scene. You know, my first pro athlete was Junior Barlow, and shout out to him, he gave me that first shot. And I still pinch myself to this day, because like if he didn't, he opened a lot of doors, to be honest, with that side of the scene. You know, a lot of players looked at that. He had a big following, and that was the year he played Origin too. And I'm not saying it was me. I'm not saying that at all. He's a great player in his position, but he did open doors for me. And from there, just year after year, it just grew. So it was probably that point there where he came, and I was like, man, there's a lot of people that's been in this industry that have never been able to work with players at that caliber at all, or still don't have that, unless they're in a big environment where a gym they can offer that to them, you know. So once that happened, I was like, yeah, this is me. Bang, let's go. And I just pretty much grew every year, learned obviously on the way, and like I said many times, like very grateful that I'm in this position where I am now.
The best way to do anything is go all in. So great work for backing yourself, bro. The pro athletes, right? Like we were talking before about LeBron James, and there's a lot of, you know, you got your Ronaldos, your Messis. They do a lot of individual stuff, and I think the NRL players are starting to see that now, obviously through socials and that. Like you see the diets, obviously the individualised training. Do you think that's just going to continue to get bigger?
To an extent, but like, so with the pro athletes, a lot of them are still controlled by the S&C coaches and physios. So like, and that's the battle I have with those guys, because obviously they come to me to get faster.
Yes.
All right, so my job is to get them going back faster. where the downside is that happens, if something goes wrong, I'm the first to blame, obviously, which I'm happy to wear, but they're so controlled by the S&C coaches now. Like, so a good thing happened for me in the off season was like I got to work with one of the head performance guys with the NRL club, where a lot of their players was out west, and then instead of them going all the way to Manly, I was like them middle, the middle person, and he understood like what I was trying to achieve, because when they got back last year's off season into pre-season, they were flying, and then they're like, oh, what you used to been doing, and then the boys were talking. Giving me a good rap to the head performance guys. Got to go in and speak to him personally, and then so that aspect, if I can go into that scene in a way where like I can work with clubs but still do my thing, man, that's a massive plus, because going back to it, a lot of players are still getting controlled, even though they want to get individualised training. It's still overlooked a lot with the S&C coaches.
That'll begin to break down, because once one of the boys go, generally, you want to be a better player. You want to look better. You want to provide for your family.
To be honest, I'd rather that. Like, if you're a winger, like, you want to be going fast, obviously. So
100%.
There's no point like doing mad finish drills or whatnot. Yes, I know you got to be fit. The game of the wingers is changing again. Like play one, plays twos, but taking away that fact. At the end of the day, most of the wingers' jobs is to score tries, to make half breaks into full breaks. So where are you going to get that done? Speed trainers.
100%.
You get that specialised training. So my aspect looking in, I'd rather players find that individualised training they need for whatever skill they need to improve on. But it's just that little aspect that at the moment they still have a little bit dramas, because some of them they still come with GPSs. And I look, I'm like, what he's got to do?
Because the S&C gets in the shit then. But guess what? Performance gets you paid. So if your wingers, your centres, your front rowers are going to be playing better, and it's going to benefit your team and club and getting a W, they're going to have to let go of the restraints a little bit, or bring people like you into there and show the players how to do these things.
It's hard too in a way. I feel for the S&C coaches, because I get the point you're coming from, but at the same point too, if they're not performing, the coaches will go back to the head of performance, and the head of performance can just go, no, it's not my fault. This is what's been happening. Oh no, they're always going to get looked at in a way.
Everyone's passing the blame.
Yeah, pretty much. And going back to my points, when I had that group of girls, I wanted full blame. Like I wanted to wear it if I failed, and I did. I took the blame, moved on from that, got better from it. So if those head and performance guys would work with other trainers, they'll be mad, but it's hard to in a way for speed. Like you're going to go into a team environment, they won't let players go past 90% because due to injuries, a lot of injuries, mechanics, and they don't have time to teach that, which is fair enough. And the only time players do get is off season. And if they're not going out or going overseas or nothing, they need to get that training done. So.
Now, the Elevate with Mets challenges are on all throughout the whole year. The first one starts in the next week, but they're on all the time. You don't have to actually start on that given date. You can start on any date, and I'll have you covered from A to Z, from your nutrition, your training, your mindset, to all the classes that are available. Not just here at Tottenham, but everywhere around the world. I've got a client in Germany that's been doing so many of my challenges, so they're worldwide. Why don't you join us while I help you transform your life? Take you to the next level. What are you waiting for? Hit the link in the bio. Let's get you started.
You were speaking about two jobs you had. Obviously, one was as an instructor in F45. What was the other one?
So my two jobs before going into the industry was both warehouse work.
Okay.
Yes, I was working at Coles DC in Star Trek, or what's the other one? Oh, I forgot the other one. It'll come back to me. But so it was two just warehouse works. That I was doing. But that was because my Coles job at the time when I got permanent was Thursday to Monday afternoon shift, and then I was doing Monday to Friday day shift with my other job. So it kind of sucked in that way. Missed everything, but at that time I had to do what I had to do.
Understand.
And obviously there's a lot of aspiring individuals like yourself that want to become, whether it be strength and conditioning coaches or sprint coaches. What do you tell those young people? What do they have to do in order to get into a position like yours or someone like Roger Fabri's? What does that take? Because obviously it's not simple, and you've got to start somewhere. And like you said before to your players, I can't get you there. I want to get there fast. How fast can I get? What is the process? What is the transition? And obviously with anything, you've got to be passionate about what you're about to move into.
Yeah, we're pretty much nailed on the head. You've got to be passionate. You don't want to do it for the money. Because in my industry, when I started, man, I did the groundwork, like a lot of free sessions, just to learn.
Yeah.
You know, obviously don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, when I reached out to Roger, it wasn't like, oh, you know, this or that. It was just like, he's the best. I want to learn from that person. Where am I going wrong? How can I get better? This and that. So reached out, invest in yourself. Believe in yourself is a massive thing. Like, because my industry, like I said too, is I never had the opportunity to get clientele just given. I had to work for it. And when I started, I was really result driven. Like I was, which is probably a bad thing. Like I was stuck in my way where I was like, nah, I don't need social that much. Like where people, social's big. Like you got to be on TikTok, you got to be on Snapchat, this and that. I'm like, nah, I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to go myself. I'm going to back myself and see how good I am result wise. Because results speak massive, especially speed. Like you can't hide. You cannot hide. Like if the time's not going down, at the end of the day, it's what you've programmed for that client or athlete that's come through. So, yeah, I backed my guns, and it's worked out in a way. So, all these young people that come through and have asked, which I've had a few. One is got passionate. Two, be very big on people skills, learning how to know the person before the actual athlete. Don't look at them as just an athlete. You're getting hardly no results from them, to be honest. That's the way I look at it. And three, don't be afraid to fail. Like, just go for it.
Big one.
Yeah, you got to go for it, because then you're not going to know. Then you're just going to have, like, what if I tried? What if? If you tried and failed, at least you know.
Yeah. And Josh, you worked with Josh Mansour too.
Yeah, Josh was, he was cool.
Was that after his career, before his career? But that, I mean,
I think that was his decision-making point where, am I going to still play or not?
Yeah.
So
now he's someone that puts in a lot of work.
Oh, he's next level. Like just his attention to details, real good. I connected real good with Josh, to be honest. Like just straight off the bat, because he came with James Ramos, the Moose they call him. So obviously they're real good friends. And then I got to meet Josh through there, and then we just kept training once James, I think, signed overseas. And it was so good with Josh, like just his aspects. He's done it, Origin, Australia, and that. So just hearing this aspect. Then we played the same position. I was a winger coming through too. So he was awesome to talk to, and just his attention to detail was good. Like once, maybe twice, man, he'll just attack it with everything he's got. You know, very coachable in a way. Like, oh, why are we doing this? Oh, this is the reason why. Okay, why are we doing this? If I've never done this. Oh, this is awesome. So he gave me great feedback too, and honest feedback too, which was a good thing. Yeah, so I got time for Josh Mansour. Yeah, he's the man. He's real good. He's real good.
And obviously, I've been in business for many years now. It's almost going 3 decades.
Wow, congrats.
So one thing you learn is, you know, when you have 1,000 members and 2,000, 3,000 and 4,000, and then you have, you know, over 85 classes, you're redoing the whole gym. Like, I mean, there's so many moving parts, and you're bringing on smarter people in the back end of the business. You know, so I've gone through a lot of different phases. What are some of the challenges that you've been through, or what advice do you have for people? Because you're running a business now.
Yeah.
You know, initially it was about, hey, this is what I want to be able to do. I want to connect with these individuals. I want to make sure that, you know, they get the best service. You know, my work's done on the speed that these guys, you know, create on the field. What are some of the business challenges that you've had as you've been growing?
So for me, it's obviously weather.
Weather.
You can't control how it's all. So like at the moment, like I've got a gym space that I lease across the road from the over I train at, which is very good. So if we're weather, I'll just go in there. But then also in there, it's like, all right, how many people can I fit in there at a time? All right, what can I do that complements what they're going to do on the field in a way? So weather's a massive one, like learning how to adapt with that. In the same sense, trying to keep it the same goal in the same sense, like instead of just taking them somewhere, doing something that's not relevant to what we're trying to achieve, what I'm trying to achieve for these kids. Another thing is probably like, if I was to grow, like letting other people come in. At the moment, like obviously, I want people that want to be grinders, like how I was, like they're willing to hustle hard, not like just as a side job, you know, like where they got a 9 to 5, and then I want to do this on the side. So like I feel like, which is probably a bad thing too in a way, like for me to grow is to find those people that want to do it, but I want to find those hungry people that were like me in a way. I know it's probably far-fetched, but I just got that in my mind. Like if I can find people like that, I feel like it just brings so much more value to what I'm trying to create in that field of speed out west, anyway, southwest. So that's probably the only pretty much two big challenges I've had to face in a sense was just weather and growing a business in that side of it, like allowing other coaches to come in. And I'm not afraid to like share what I've learned. I'm not afraid of that. It's just more like, can I trust that person to be there when I'm not there?
It's funny, I was watching the Gold Coast player. He was training in the States, and you could see those big, massive indoor facilities.
Oh, yeah. Crazy.
What was it? What's the...
Bill Knowles, that one that we've...
Probably, yeah, but he's helped a few of them. He was helping the Gold Coast.
Tino?
Tino.
Yeah,
And
saw
you
that.
could see, you know, just how expansive and indoor, but
Crazy.
obviously they've got the artificial grass in there, which makes a huge difference because if you could have a facility that has indoor, outdoor, you're going to be able to help more people,
Oh,
right?
that'll be massive. Like that's a massive
That's a dream, right?
That's
That
a
one,
massive dream. Like, because if whoever has that first or gets access to that first,
Yeah.
it'd be unstoppable. Because then you're working all season,
Yeah,
all
that's
round
right.
don't need to worry about weather,
Yeah.
this and that. So, yeah, that's a massive dream to be honest. Like where you can have like an outdoor pitch,
Yeah.
indoor turf where it's 50 by 50. You can do a lot of work there, and then you still got a gym space in that indoor facility. Man, crazy from
Do
there.
they have that in rugby league teams here?
Indoor.
Indoor,
Yeah.
not
Not like that,
Nah,
eh?
not like that.
I think they can go places, but
Yeah.
not the facilities. No, I don't.
I mean,
Oh,
how much
I
of an
don't-
advantage is
Not
that,
sure.
really? Like,
Oh,
I mean,
massive.
it's huge, right?
Massive, but I don't know if a place
No.
anywhere in Sydney where it's got like big astroturf where
Inside.
teams can go. Like I know of schools that's got miniature
Big
ones,
spaces. Yeah.
big spaces where it's like still open, but not like America's. Like they're just next level. Their facilities over there. Like some of the D1 colleges and that, crazy facilities. Like, but they
Yeah.
got big investors, whatnot, pouring
Yeah.
money into it. So that's the I feel like money's always the issue there.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that.
man.
When you started working with the NRL players,
Yep.
did it take you back, like looking at how big these guys are, how fast they can move, how agile they are, and to take the information on board?
Yes, like obviously going back to Junes, then after Junes was Josh Holloway, and then all the boys after that. It was crazy to put in perspective how the game's changed when I was playing. You know what I mean? Like I was come through the grade, seeing a lot of great players come through in that, but seeing what they can do now, I'm just like, wow, man, like it's crazy. Some of the players I've seen, like the way they move, for how big they are,
Because they're
I'm just
big
like,
men, they're fucking big men, man.
Like for example, like Hamoli.
Yeah.
It's massive,
Like-
eh?
Bro, he's huge.
Yeah.
Like he's lean. Like
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, he's real
Yeah.
lean, tall. But the way he can get off the line, like last year off season, I had some of the boys up against him. Every 20 meters, bang, see ya. And to be honest, I don't think he was even trying.
He like
It's scary.
even watching him the other night, and this isn't even, I don't think it's a speed thing. He's so dangerous because he actually knows how to use his body properly, which you see people are falling off, getting introduced to the ground, and when he hits people, they don't want to run at him again. So, like, does that play into his hands with the speed and the agility, you
Yeah.
reckon?
100,
Did
because
he,
now
work
he's...
hard? Did he work hard over the season, or the off season? Because he looks like he's moving pretty
Well,
good.
after the Pac Champs, I don't think he'd really done much. I only saw him a couple of times, but he was having a foot issue. Even though he wanted to come and that, I was just like, bro, just do your thing. Like, just do your thing, rest. Like, you've had a big season. But previous times that I worked with him, man, and I think that was the transition phase. Like, he still didn't know how good he was. But now he knows. Man, it's scary. And then the speed and his drive, acceleration.
What do you mean he didn't know?
Crazy.
What do you mean? What didn't he know?
Like, I feel like the way he was playing, like, he knew he was big, but I don't think he knew what his potential was.
Wow.
And now I think he's getting the accolades that he deserved. He's worked hard for it.
Yeah.
Origin selection
100%.
last year. Now he's got the leadership role.
Yeah.
It's all playing into his hand, and you can see it from that first game. And then now he's that dog, pretty much. Like, people looking, go, oh, all right, here we go. It's gonna be a tough day for me.
Yeah.
You know, he's starting to realise that, and with his speed and that, it's gonna just make him more dangerous because now he's got like intent. He's running to hurt, and it's scary. Like anyone to run to hurt, it's scary.
That's a big thing, especially at that size. You know, you got your Payne Haas's, Junes, as you were talking about before. When these guys back themselves and go, well, I'm going to create an offload, I'm going to bring in these three defenders, the whole complexity of the game changes because now you just don't need one defender on them. It's the ones either side as well.
Exactly right. And probably a good one too is even Fanor.
Yeah.
Emre is good. Like I
Great player.
love Emre, great. But Fanor, he just knows how to like thin himself. Like he'll run. He's forward, like for someone that big, like how do you have footwork
He
that
just
late?
changes direction
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
How do you have late footwork like that?
I know he weighs around 120 kgs. He's
He
massive,
would say
bro.
he feels strong that day, you know, but
Yeah.
if he feels lighter, he'll go, yeah, I'm fast.
Yeah.
So that's one of his things. Yeah, but yeah, you're saying.
Yeah, no. But I mean, Adam, he blows my mind because I've known Adam for a while, but he doesn't, like when you look at him, he's solid, he's lean. You don't think that's 120, but it's 120.
Well, Junior would be a massive example.
Yeah.
Like when you look at him, you're like, bro, he's just like dense. Like dense. When on TV probably doesn't do him justice, to be honest.
Yeah.
But when you actually meet him in person and the person he is, and you're just like, what the heck is this? How do you, even with him late for work, like back in his camera, they come back into power, man, at the line, bang, full work. And just someone that dense, so big, move the way they do.
Yeah.
It's crazy and then once we get into the speed side of it, when I work with those big boys, I'm just like, bro, man, they put out so much power. It's crazy to see. And then after we get a good block of 6 weeks in, they go back and like, Michael, man, I've just hit a new PB. I'm like, wow, that's credit to you. Like, you know, you've done the work, you believed in the process, so credit to you. You know?
It seems like their professionalism's going up. You know, especially the Polynesians and the Islander boys.
Yeah.
They're like they're looking for those extras. They're looking like a Molly going into the leadership role. You know, when he first came on the scene, I probably didn't think he was looking to go in that role. Now he's like, it's like, hey, I want this. So they're changing a lot in terms of going, you know, I'm going to do the 1%ers, I'm going to do the extras, I'm going to go to that next level. And you're seeing a lot more, you know, the Polynesians and Islander boys putting in the type of effort that you know, they should be putting in because they got, genetically, they're so gifted.
Yeah, well, the sport's made for us pretty much. You know, it's made for that culture, but I feel like just the amount of footy too that's been added into the season, like the Pac Champs, it's a massive event now.
Yeah, man.
The Tongan Samoans, going with Fiji, even Papua New Guinea, like all those islands, they're starting to rise as well. So after the season, most of them only got 4 weeks, is it? 4 to 5 weeks where they're playing again. So they don't have that time to go overseas and chill out. It's like, all right, you're picked for this team, let's go. And then they're playing for the nation. You've heard it many times of everywhere over the media, like doing it for the family. It's my culture. I'm doing it for them. You know, my grandparents, my parents. So it's a big thing for them. So that's why I feel like it's helped them too. There's amount of games. Yes, it's a toll on the body, but it's actually made them more professional in that way because they're staying fit. Like, not just going somewhere getting flogged. It's like, where I'm fortunate in a way, like when the boys come to me, I might get them like 5 days of the week and I'll get to control what they're doing in that sense. I'm like, all right, boys, this is our program for the week. You can come, you cannot, it's all good, it's up to you. Majority of them still come 5 days, but it's just me controlling them, like not holding their hand. It's just like, I come in, let's have a good time. These are speed days, these are days I need you fresh. Other than that, like, enjoy your time off with your family, you know, whatnot. It's only an hour of their day as well, in a way. So it's not like they're full time, it's just keeping them fit. So once they go in, it's just like, all right, they're firing, and then their S&Cs and whatnot can control them after that point.
Do you give them game simulation? And what I mean by that is when you're teaching them technique or ways to move, are you also incorporating how they will move on the field with the ball in their hand if they're looking for an offload, hitting and spinning, all that sort of stuff?
Not to that extent of like contact, spinning out of it, more if they're broken play.
Okay.
So if they made that break, now what scenario you're going to look at? And for me, I put those scenarios too, like some of the boys, they come flat. And I can sense it, and then this is where I adapt real good. Is like, all right, I might have a session in mind. All right, nah, they're a bit flat. All right, how can I lift the moody?
Read the room. Yep.
Read the room pretty much. So I'll do still what I need to be done for like
Different
fundamental.
Yep.
But then I'm like, all right, boys, let's go. Game scenario, and then they just click into gear. And then without me even saying it, they probably don't even know themselves. It's just they click into gear, they're having fun, but they're competing. And like, you know yourself, you know, it's just you love to compete. What brings competitors against the other boys, you're going to try your best not to lose. And then that's where I get most of the good results is that game simulation where it's not the contact, it's more like break and play. All right, at speed, how can I make a decision at speed? Not where speed, slowing down. It's moving fast, bang, quick
time.
decision. Yeah, so after the fundamental phase is done, which those guys that come back regularly, it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
I just put the ball in their hands straight away.
Let them go.
Yeah, pretty
Muscle
much.
memory, that's good.
Yeah.
The when you see them doing their thing and then you see it on the footy field, do you sort of take a bit of pride in like,
Yeah, dude.
yeah, that's good, mate.
Yeah, when you know, sees some of them like 40-meter tries.
Yeah.
When even the New South Wales players, even the younger kids,
Yep.
full field tries and whatnot. When I get those videos, like, yeah, I just like, yeah, this is cool, man. Like,
That's mad.
I was a process to that, you know. But that's all good in a way too. And I feel like I pride myself in a way. I know you didn't ask this question, but I pride myself in being there for the kids when they're at their lowest points.
Yeah.
You know,
very
like,
important.
yeah, a lot
Yep.
of kids, like, they go through a lot of stuff.
Yep.
You know, and me being there in a way where I can brighten their day just for that 1 hour and try to tap into it. And when some of them, to be honest, for me, yes, that's what I do. Try to improve their speed, performance, and whatnot. But mine is like, oh, coach, I got vice captain, I got captain for my team. This like leadership roles.
Yeah.
That's what I enjoy most because like when I do some of the conditioning stuff with them, which I get control of as well, it's like, oh, man, I put them in dark moments, but I just go, hey, let's go, man. Like I'm on the ground with them too. Like I'll be right next to them. I go, like to be honest, I don't want to be here doing it, but I'm here for you. Let's go. Come
You're
on,
a bit
man.
of a soundboard for them, eh?
Yeah, pretty much because I've always had big respect for trainers that were next to me. Like you don't need to be the fittest, but if you're like giving times or whatnot, you want to be making sure you can do it too. So that's why like I put myself through every program that I do for the athletes every off season. So like during the winter period, I'll put myself through the dark times, but then I know coming that summer, I'm like, all right, I know how far to push you. See,
So
like,
you give yourself the data to understand what they're going through. That's cool.
Because that's the only way to do it. Like, how can you like give someone something and not knowing? You know what I mean? Like they'll probably look at you and go, can you do this? So, some of the times, unless you know you may have the runs on the board and whatnot, fair enough. But for me, at the moment, I don't have those runs. So for me to get that respect, I'll pull myself through it, and then I'm like, hey, I've done it, man. Like,
That's cool.
let's go.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. And business-wise, looking in the future, what are you looking to achieve with your brand? You know, what does the next, 3, 5, 10 years look like for Michael and, your crop of young kids coming through, the professionals and whatnot? What does that look like? Have you
To be like top tier,
Yeah.
like to be the brand.
Who's the? So you got Roger Fabri, but there's got to be other coaches that you watch and look up to worldwide.
To be honest, there's one coach, Les Spillman in America. He works with a lot of NFL draftees. Very good in that space. Very data driven as well. Listen, in terms here in Sydney, and this is no disrespect to anyone. After I've done my mentor with Roger, I've just pretty much stuck to my own lane. Like I've just followed my own thing. Like obviously it's working. So obviously I'm still learning, but I've always looked to Les Spillman.
Yeah.
Or if I need help, I always reach out to Roger in a way. Because at the end of the day, like, you only have the kids for an amount of time, you know, or athletes, professional athletes. So when they come back, there's no need to, be fancy in a way. Like, you just go back to foundation, basic stuff. And then for me, my fancy is like, I'll get the ball in the hand. And then I'll go, all right, now how can you use this in a game scenario? And it's always league-based. That's majority of my athletes that come through. But business side, it'll be more top tier because I'm very fortunate for the young kids where they get to train with NRL guys, NRLW girls, and then I don't, by no means, I don't pressure those guys to do that either. Like, there may be some sessions, say, for example, maybe a bye week, right? Oh, Michael, what are you doing? I go, I'm running a group, like, I've got no time. Oh, sweet, I'll jump in. So, all right. So I'll alter the session, obviously different distances, but everyone's running the same times. But they look at that. Like some of the kids train with Homole, with Junior, with Salah, with all the other girls that's come through too. Like Mama Talfa too. That was the name I was trying to say. Like all those, for the girls, that's massive for the girls. For the boys, young boys, they're looking up like, I got to train with this person. Where can you find a program that allows that access, and I'm very fortunate, so I want to be that brand where it's like, you don't just come here and expect, just to be here because there's people here, like you got to earn this right to be here. And this, so that's where I look at where I want the business to go. It's like, and obviously still be around and giving good results.
Roger, he's almost 60, right? Isn't he?
I don't know age-wise, but he's been around for a minute. He's been around for a minute.
Look, if he's not 60, he looks 60. Look, I've known Roger on a few occasions.
Yeah.
So he's a nice guy. So it looks like it's a long career.
If done right.
If done right.
If done right. And with Roger, he's done it his own way.
but
He's done it his own way. Like, to
Yeah,
be honest,
man.
like, he never went away from who he is.
yeah,
He's never cared what people thought about him.
Yeah.
He's always acted the way he is, and
yeah,
that's it. Like, and
Yeah.
it's either you're going to like him or not.
yeah,
And I've connected with him so good, and that's why, like, wherever I am, or people say, "Oh, where did you go?" I go, "Man, Roger, he's my man." Like, I've always got the utmost respect for that guy,
yeah.
in a way. So,
Yeah. Well, that was pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
Far
I
out.
enjoyed it.
I've
appreciate
seen a lot of your, your social media posts with a lot of, great players endorsing you. But it's great to be able to see your passion. Before this, I didn't really, I watched you on social media. I didn't know you, but it's good to be able to see,
yeah,
someone's passion in the work that they put forward, and you've worked under, Roger, but even your transition, doing 2 jobs to go in F45 just to get in your cert 3-4, and then understanding, hey, this is where I want to go. It's cool to be able to see that, and coming from soccer, and you understanding speed, and just the importance of it. It makes sense why you move towards what you're doing, and now you're able to mentor and help those young players, and you're seeing a great crop of talented and very great football players that are playing in the NRL, and probably the next up and comers.
yeah. It's massive. I still pinch myself. Like, I look back and I pinch myself, but like I said at the start of the podcast, like, I've earned this. Like, I've honestly earned this, and whoever's like achieved stuff in their lives, like, they'll know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So moving forward, I just hope God keeps blessing me the way He has. Obviously, I prayed for stuff, but I've got to do the work as well. Like, I don't sit on my ass, and I'll do the groundwork to get where I need to be done. But yeah, boys, appreciate you. It's been good. Like, and I try to hide in a way. I don't like to be out there and be noisy.
When you said that you don't like being on social media, you want your work to do the talking.
Well, it is, like,
what I mean? Which it is, because you're getting referrals. Everyone's talking about
everyone
it.
talks, and I'll let my results do the talking.
Yeah.
Like, I know I need a post and what, but to be honest, if I didn't need socials, I'd rather not have it. Like,
Look,
to
it's
be
hard
honest,
to do it too. Like, think
Yeah,
about,
it's
like,
hard,
when you're,
it's hard.
like, when you're in the work.
Yeah.
Like, even for me, like, I want to post more sometimes, but I'm so entrenched in the work.
Yeah,
And you start to.
it's
go,
more.
"Man, I want to help them.
Yeah,
I want to do this, but
it's more like for me at home.
yeah.
Too, like, if I need to post or do like some stuff, like post videos or whatnot, or send messages, it's just like, oh man, it's taking time away. Like, and that's a transition I have to get better at. Like, I know that too.
Yeah.
I got to get better in that sense. But so that's why I say, if I don't need socials, like, I'd rather not have it.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, I'd rather go home, put my phone to the side. But then I'll put my phone to the side, and I'll get all these messages, and to be honest, I'm
Then
pretty
you gotta
bad.
do it again.
I'm pretty bad at, like, replying to messages.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's probably going to be some people watching, like, yeah,
Probably
I'm one of them.
Same, bro. Fuck.
I'm one of them. You know, so I've got to get better in that sense too. But all in all, like, socials, if I don't need it, I don't want it. I just want my results to do the talking. And like, credit to those people that have come through and they want to mention my name. Like, I don't do this for clout.
Yeah.
I honestly don't. Like, I'd rather do it just to see that person generally do well.
Yeah.
That's why they've come to me, and that's my job.
Yeah,
like, I don't want them to go, oh, Michael's this. Oh.
Yeah.
If it comes, that's great. Like, I'm not going to say, oh, don't do it. Like,
You
great.
still know the job you've got to do.
100%.
You know
like,
your job.
That's my main.
And what anyone says won't deter you away from the
not
job
chasing
you
for
got to
clout, just chasing for that result. Like, I'm very result driven. And if I don't get it, I really eat myself. And I'm not saying, like, I'm perfect. Like, I've failed sometimes.
Yeah.
Even to this day, like, just sometimes, like, I've needed to get it. I haven't achieved it. I'm like, all right, this is on me. How can I get better here? What have I done wrong? So it's always learning, adapting, and just putting your ego aside.
Yeah.
Like, you're never going to be perfect then. I've accepted that. So moving forward, man, like I've said many times, I just pray to the Lord that He can just bless me and continues to bless all those that come through and give me the opportunity to coach them, because it's massive. If they don't come through, I'm not Michael Fualalo training out there in Southwest Sydney.
Effort and honesty is always rewarded, bro. And, you know,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
No, that's massive. Thank you.
You're of service. I love hearing people when they're helping young people out. You know, as you said before, it's hard being a teenager and these days, as it always has been.
Man.
But like what you're doing is great, and I wish you all the best, and I hope it continues to ascend for you.
Thank you for you boys for reaching out, because like, to be honest, I've never met you either. Like,
what do you think of us, Dan Lai?
huh?
I'm only joking.
Look at that.
He laughs though, because that's what I say to him.
Hey,
all
that's
the
my
time.
insight. No.
Yeah, we fuck around like that too, bro.
Nah, to be honest, great blokes. And what you're doing out here, like, I've just seen surely, like, keep
Yeah,
going.
we'll show
bro.
you around.
Yeah,
We'll show you
nah,
around. We'll
appreciate
take a
it. Thank you,
photo.
boys.
And then I'm going to run after these taps.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
all
I'm
that.
excited about it, bro.
Yeah,
I've
good on
got
you.
one day fucking. I'm
And then Thailand.
Thailand, bro.
Yeah, the plane ride will be good for you. You'll fall asleep straight away, I reckon.
Fuck, I know. Please don't talk to me, bro. Talk me to sleep. Talk me
Straight away. Straight away.
Thanks a lot, Michael.
Nah, I
Thank you.
appreciate
it,
that.
brother.
Nah, it was
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you, brother.
Nah,
Thanks.
thanks.